Congratulations on your purchase of the GBC Ultima 65 Laminator. Proper usage and care of this equipment will give you years of trouble-free lamination. After carefully removing the Ultima 65 from its shipping carton and wrapping, place the unit on a stable, flat surface capable of supporting at least 150 pounds. Make sure all 4 rubber support feet of the Ultima 65 are positioned completely on the supporting surface. The laminator should be positioned to allow exiting film to drop freely to the floor. Accumulation of laminate immediately behind the laminator as it exits the equipment may cause the film to wrap around the pull rollers, resulting in a jammed condition. Avoid locating the laminator near sources of heat or cold, or in the direct path of forced air. These conditions can affect the quality of lamination. If possible, the surface should be at least 30 inches high. This will assure comfortable positioning for the operator during operation. Before operating your Ultima 65, review your owner's manual carefully. The laminator has been designed for maximum safety, but you will still need to know how to recognize potential hazards from improper operation. You will notice warning labels in several places on the Ultima 65. They have been placed there for your safety. Each of the following warning labels carries a different message. This message means that you could be seriously or fatally hurt if you open the machine and expose yourself to hazardous voltage. Do not attempt to service or repair the Ultima 65 laminator yourself. Call your GBC authorized service technician. This symbol means that you could be burned, or your fingers and hands could be caught and crushed between hot rollers. Clothing, long hair, and jewelry could also be caught in the rollers, pulling you into them. And this symbol means that you could cut yourself if you are not careful. Plug the unit into any standard-sized outlet. The Ultima 65 will draw up to 12.5 amps, so be sure the electrical branch for that outlet is not being used for any other heavy-duty equipment. The electrical branch may include other outlets in the room or building, so check with engineering to be certain. You are now ready to operate your Ultima 65. Your new Ultima 65 comes preloaded with 2 demo rolls of 1.5 mil film for setup and training. Check to be sure the leading edge of the film is visible on the back of the machine. Turn the laminator on at the main power switch, located at the back of the machine. The machine will take 10 to 15 minutes to fully warm up, as indicated by the ready lamp. Make sure the safety shield is down and the feed table and feed table latch are in the proper position. The machine will not operate if they are not in place. The feed table latch is located on the underside of the feed table at the far left. If you are using 1 mil film, you must manually press the 1 mil button each time you turn on the Ultima. Otherwise, the laminator will automatically default to the 1.5 3 mil setting when the machine is turned on. The laminator will electronically set the speed and temperature for the film you've chosen. Presets automatically default to speed 4 as a starting point. Different paper stocks require different speeds for proper lamination. You'll need to refer to the speed setting guide at the upper right of the machine to select the appropriate speed for the weight of paper you are laminating. We will cover this in more detail in our next section. When the ready lamp lights, you are ready to begin laminating. Position your materials on the feed table and press Run. As the rollers begin to turn, wait for the heat line to disappear. Then push the materials into the nip point of the heat rollers. This is where the heat rollers come together. Gently guide your materials as the rollers pull them into the Ultima 65. Do not reposition the items once the rollers have begun to pull them. You can place additional items onto the feed table without stopping and starting the laminator. Press the stop button once all of the items have completely exited the rear of the machine. With the cutter on either side of the laminator, hold the film straight out and depress the cutter's handle while sliding the cutter across the lamination film. Remember that although the blade is covered when not in use, it is very sharp when depressed for cutting. Always keep fingers clear of the path of the blade. Only operate the cutter from behind the machine. Reaching over the laminator to operate the film cutter could result in loose clothing being caught in the rollers, causing personal injury. If the laminator is left for more than 3 hours without being used, the standby button will illuminate. After an additional hour of non-use, the laminator will shut off completely, but the power and standby lamps will remain illuminated. To start the unit from the standby mode, press the standby button. While the GBC Ultima 65 has been designed for ease of use, there are some simple things you can do to ensure perfectly laminated materials every time. Good consistent lamination is the result of combining proper heat, tension, and speed. Speed, or dwell time, determines the amount of time the material to be laminated is compressed between the heat or nip rollers and is controlled by the speed control. The pull rollers are located behind the heat rollers and are designed to pull the film and improve the quality of the laminated item. As a general rule, thicker items and films, as well as items that are dark or have full ink coverage, need to run at slower speeds because they extract more heat from the rollers at a quicker rate. If these items are run at a rate that is too fast, the laminate will not seal properly, and peeling or bubbling may result. The heat lamp will illuminate intermittently as heat is required. You may need to lower the speed setting at this time. If the heat lamp stays on and the ready light goes off, press stop after the item being laminated has cleared the pull rollers, and wait until the ready lamp illuminates. Thinner items, such as tissue paper and 20-pound bond paper, extract less heat from the rollers and should be run at faster speeds. On large, thin items, lightly hold the corners as it is feeding. If these items are run at a rate that is too slow, you may experience wrinkling, cloudiness, or poor adhesion. Always refer to the speed setting guide for suggested starting points. Run similar materials together. If you combine thick and thin items at the same time, a poor edge seal will result on the thinner material. Operation of the laminator for more than 30 minutes at a time may require a slower speed setting. If you are unsure that the laminator is set at the proper speed for your item, run a test piece or scrap of the same or similar material through the machine. Make speed adjustments as necessary. Do not attempt to reposition materials once they have been grabbed by the rollers, or wrinkles in the laminate may result. Do not stop the laminator before an item has completely exited the pull rollers. Even a momentary stop will cause a mark or heat line on the laminated item. Do not attempt to laminate abrasive or metal objects such as staples, paper clips, and glitter, as they may damage the heat or pull rollers. Never attempt to laminate adhesives marked flammable. Do not force items into the heat rollers. Any item that is not easily drawn into the laminator by the heat rollers is probably too thick to laminate. All GBC film rolls come with an end-of-roll warning, which is visible before the roll is empty. If the warning end-of-roll label appears on either the top or bottom roll of film, new rolls of film must be installed as soon as the item currently being laminated exits the laminator. Do not introduce any additional items into the laminator when this warning label is visible. Remember to check the lower film supply often. You may want to select a few key people in your organization to be responsible for the advanced operations of the Ultima 65, such as film loading, clearing jams, and general cleaning and maintenance. This section will outline these operations. Be sure to refer to the Operating Instructions Guide as well for more detailed information. Note that the shiny side of clear film must contact the heat rollers. The dull side of the film contains the adhesive and is on the inner side of the roll. The adhesive must not contact the heat rollers. There must always be a top and bottom roll of film present at the same time, and they must be of the same width. The top and bottom roll of film should always be changed at the same time. For best results, use a GBC laminating film which is appropriate for the Ultima 65. Films are available in 1, 1.5, and 3 mil gauges in widths to 27 inches. The following procedure uses the film threading card provided with new rolls of GBC film. You may prefer to do this procedure when the laminator is cool to the touch, However, an experienced operator will be able to perform this procedure when the unit is hot or cold. Refer to the film threading diagram located on the feed table for an illustration of feed path. Film loaded in the machine is referred to as the web. Turn on the Ultima 65 and remove the feed table by sliding the latch under the left side to the right and lifting it out. Cut the remaining top and bottom film webs between the supply rolls and heat rollers, taking care not to cut the heat rollers. Raise the safety shield to its full upright position. Grab hold of the top and the bottom film and install the feed table under the films. Lower the safety shield and push slow to speed 3 or less. Press and hold the reverse button and guide the web out the front of the machine. Make certain none of the exposed adhesive contacts the heat rollers and that the film completely exits the laminator before releasing the reverse button. Lift the safety shield to the full upright position and remove the feed table. Next, remove the bottom roll of film by sliding the shaft to the right to release it from the hex-shaped brake hub. Loosen the locking screw on the left retaining collar of the film supply shaft and slide the collar off. Gently knock out the left core adapter by pulling the shaft partially out of the film tube, then tapping it back in. If your core adapter is plastic, be careful not to crack or break it. If you have the metal-style core adapter, simply loosen the thumb screw. Pull the shaft all the way out and rotate the tube 180 degrees. Use the shaft to knock out the remaining core adapter. When loading the bottom film supply, always hold the film so that it rolls toward you as you face it. Now slide one core adapter into the right side of the new roll of film. Slide the film shaft into the core adapter and film tube from the right side. Place the other core adapter on the shaft protruding from the left side and gently tamp it in. Replace the retaining collar and tighten the locking screw. Lower the bottom idler bar. Unroll enough film to thread behind the bottom idler bar. Slide the idler bar back into place and drape the film over the idler bar and the bottom film roll. Place the bottom roll of film back on the laminator by sliding the shaft into the round hole on the right side frame and the left side into the hex-shaped brake hub. Lower the safety shield. Now, remove the top film supply roll in the same way you removed the bottom roll. When loading the top film supply, always hold the film so that it rolls away from you as you face it. This is the opposite of how you held the bottom roll. Slide the new core adapter into the right side of the film. Place the core adapters and film shaft on the new top roll of film. Replace the top roll on the laminator, making sure the film unrolls from the bottom. Unroll enough film to drape over the top idler bar underneath the safety shield. Then raise the safety shield and pull enough film to overlap both heat rollers. Lift the bottom film up over the heat rollers. At this point, the bottom and top webs may have adhered to form one web. Reinstall the feed table so that the bottom film web is resting on the tray. Slide the threading card between the feed tray and the bottom film lying on the tray. Gently push the card into the nip area of the rollers. The card should now be guiding both rolls of film into the heat rollers. Lower the safety shield and press Run. If the rollers do not turn when you press Run, check to be sure the safety shield and feed table are in place. For your safety, the machine will not operate unless these parts are in their proper position. As the rollers turn, watch the leading edge of the threading card to ensure that it enters the nip area of the heat rollers and is being pulled into the laminator. Push Stop once the threading card has exited the rear of the laminator. Your film is now installed and ready to be used when the ready light comes on. An alternate method for replacing the film rolls involves tacking the new film onto the existing film and feeding it through the laminator. This method requires the laminator to be hot. Use extreme caution and avoid contact with the heat rollers. Preheat the laminator until the ready lamp illuminates. Remove the feed tray. Cut the remaining top and bottom film between the supply rolls and heat rollers. Raise the safety shield to the full upright position. Be certain you do not allow the adhesive side of the film to contact the heat or pull rollers. Remove the bottom film supply roll from the laminator as we described in the previous section. Lower the bottom idler bar. Load the new film on the film supply shafts as previously described. Unroll enough film from the new bottom roll to slide under the bottom idler bar and tack to the existing film. Slide the bottom idler bar back into place and install the new roll of film. Lower the safety shield and replace the top roll of film. Unroll the film and tuck it behind the safety shield. Open the safety shield and tack the new film to the existing top roll of film. Install the feed table and lower the safety shield. Press slow for the slowest speed setting and press Run. Watch as the film is being pulled through the laminator to assure that the remaining existing film and the new film are advancing at the same time. Any separation between the films will require stopping the motor immediately and correcting the situation. Press Stop once the newly threaded film is completely exiting the laminator. If your top and bottom rolls of film seem out of alignment, or if you are changing sizes of film rolls, you will need to check your alignment. The film supply shafts of the Ultima 65 laminator come with pre-alignment holes on the right side for our standard film widths. Loosen the locking screw on the right side retaining collar and move it to the corresponding hole to match the width of your roll of film. Tighten the locking screw into the pre-drilled hole. The proper film tension is the minimum amount of tension required to eliminate wrinkles in the finished item. The film tension is set at the factory and should not need to be adjusted often. Indicators that tension needs to be adjusted includes wrinkles caused by insufficient tension, stretching caused by too much tension, or curling, which is caused by uneven tension between the top and bottom rolls. To adjust the tension brake, push and hold the brake lever located on the left side frame by the roll of film. Rotate the roll of film until the lever engages the internal mechanism. Rotate the film clockwise to increase the tension or counterclockwise to decrease the tension. Release the brake lever and check the tension by rotating the roll of film. Resistance should be slight, not forced. The procedure is the same for adjusting tension on either roll of film. Laminate some test samples to check for proper tension and make further adjustments if necessary. Film jams or wrap-ups may occur if the film is loaded on backwards or if the area where the film exits the equipment is blocked. The film, when jammed, wraps around the heat or pull rollers. To clear a jam, it is necessary to remove the jammed laminate. Then re-thread the laminator. The steps are the same as those in the section Film Loading with the Threading Card. Remember, you must cut the web first. The only maintenance required is the regular cleaning of the heat rollers with each film change. This will help keep the heat rollers free of adhesive that has been deposited along the edge of the laminating film. Hardened deposits can cause damage to the rollers. This procedure is performed while the laminator is hot. Use extreme caution when cleaning the rollers. Preheat the laminator until the ready lamp illuminates. Cut the top and bottom film webs. Take hold of the film. Reinstall the feed tray and lower the safety shield. Press and hold the reverse button while gently pulling the film toward you. Rub the top and bottom heat rollers with a 3M Scotch-Brite pad or soft gum eraser. Do not apply cleaning fluids or solvents to the rollers. Do not use metal scouring pads on the rollers. When you have finished cleaning the rollers, wipe with a tack cloth. GBC offers a cleaning kit for your laminator. You can order this kit through our 800 service number. Install the feed table and lower the safety shield. Press Run to rotate the heat rollers to an unclean portion and press Stop. Continue this process until the complete surface of both rollers are clean. Rethread the laminator as described earlier in this tape. Here's a helpful tip. Once in every 1/2 roll, run paper through the laminator, allowing the edges to extend beyond the edges of the film. This will pick up any excess adhesive that may have deposited on the rollers through normal use. And to give body to your film for startup on another day, try feeding a couple of sheets of 20-pound bond or copier paper halfway into the nip rollers at the end of the day, and stopping the laminator before they exit the heat rollers. GBC offers several time-saving accessories for the Ultima 65. Ask your local GBC representative about our locking cabinet on casters with convenient tabletop extension. Our safe and easy 34.5-inch rotary trimmer, perfect for trimming your laminated items. Or one of several GBC lamination films designed for enhancing all of your materials. Remember, when ordering film for your Ultima 65, specify Poly-In. This concludes this tape. Following these simple guidelines will give you years of carefree use of the Ultima 65 laminator. If you have any questions, consult the operating instructions manual that is supplied with your laminator, or contact your authorized GBC representative.